Hi everyone, my name is Valerie D'Ambrosio and I am the Connection Coach. So during this time of COVID-19, I am currently offering a weekly webinar series called A New Age of Freedom. And it's really just to support people during this time of uncertainty as we navigate through these very uncharted territories. It's also a place for people to come to feel connection that are looking at it from a different perspective as we step into this new, maybe looking at it from the perspective that it's happening for us. And I'm sending these short little videos throughout the weeks just to add a little bit more support, or there are certain things that were brought up either in the calls or people have reached out to me privately about. And one of them is around, how do I support people around me right now that are having a challenging time? And I think that's a great question because, I would imagine a lot of us want to be there for the people that we love in our lives, and which is such a beautiful thing. And what I find is that a behavior that I witnessed growing up and I witness in my clients, and what I did for so long, was I would try to fix or change someone that was experiencing where they were. And what I've learned, because I live very energetically, is that everything is energy, and energy doesn't disappear. It changes forms. And so if I want to try to take someone's pain away or not let them experience something or stop them from feeling something, inevitably, I think of it like a hose that has moving water through it. And it's like having a rock in the hose. Eventually it just pops and explodes. And so just holding space for somebody as they are on their own personal journey. And the way that looks for me is something that I call holding the bucket. I just will hold space, hold energy, be an ear, offer my presence to whomever it is that is in front of me. And I'll check in, how can I support you? What do you need from me? Offering my advice, I don't like to do, at least consciously. I really attempt not to, because again, I feel like everybody is on their own particular journey, and I actually don't know what's best for anyone. I have suggestions and ideas, but ultimately it's up to them to make those decisions. And so them discovering what their own insight in is really useful. So sometimes just someone processing or getting something out and allowing themselves to emote or move through the energy, once they have a release, they may find their own wisdom around something, a way to move through it, or may have a exhale release moment. So think of it like holding the bucket. I don't have to take on their energy. I don't have to feel it. I don't have to compartmentalize it. I don't have to do anything about it. I just hold space for them as they express. And what it does for me is it gives me an opportunity to practice boundaries. Sometimes I'm also not in a place, maybe I'm in a more catabolic, lower vibrational state, and I'm not in a place to really support someone emotionally because I already feel pretty low. And so I will discern sometimes, like, hey, I can't talk right now, can we check in tomorrow? Or hey, I just want you to know the state that I'm in right now. And I just inform people and let them know. So I feel like that's really useful. And the other thing that I want to share is when people ask me, or they do ask me for my advice, again, I just remind them that I don't know what's best for them, but I can tell them an experience for my own self. And so what I realize is sharing through story is really useful, because what it does in that moment, that person comes to you with their story, and it's really big, and there isness of it. The reality of what's in front of them is so big sometimes that it's overwhelming. It's like a boulder on top of them, or 5 boulders. And so if I were just to keep looking at that and pointing at that and trying to maneuver it or whatever, they're so meshed in it that it's kind of hard to see the forest between the trees in that moment. And so sometimes just sharing my own experience of my own story around a particular similar situation as what they're going through, what it does is it takes them a little bit out of where they are, so they can almost have a bird's eye view and potentially see where they are from a slightly different perspective. And maybe they have a new thought, a new insight, or something new comes to mind then they therefore can learn to navigate through their own challenge or whatever is in front of them from a different view, a different point of view. And so just taking yourself out of their story instead of trying to fix it, change it, or make it better, watching for when we maybe get, a little charged by someone's emotions, especially if we care for them, instead choosing to hold the bucket, and then maybe offering stories so that may ignite their own personal insight. Here's the thing, we're all on our own journey in the sense of that it's in your time, it's in their time, it's in my time. No one can say that it's your time to make this shift, your time to grow, your time to let this go, your time to not feel that. I couldn't possibly know that for anyone, and I don't think anybody could know that for me. So hopefully this is useful. Feel free to join our calls. They're every Sunday from 2 to 3. It's just an open forum. I bring some ideas to mind about which might support people during this time, and we open up to conversation. Even some coaching is there, and they're free or donation if you choose to donate. I do post them on my YouTube page if you are interested in watching them. If you're unable to see them live, that would be great. For those that do attend live, I also send notes and action steps or suggestions, or I call it home play. So feel free to share this, like, subscribe for sure to my channel so you know when these videos come up, and have a wonderful day. Sending you so much love and light.